Hey bros, Onyx here. If you like today's video, please hit that like button. If you want to see more content, make sure you subscribe. See you guys soon. So this man, so he wants to be known as Ranksinator, just so you know.
Of course. That's what I'm gonna say.
I don't think I'm gonna make it to the podcast, man.
Oh, don't worry, man. You'll get replaced by this. Yes, that was good input. Can you please clarify? 2016.
Shut up. Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Bro-chan Podcast. We are on episode 3, and for the occasion, we have a third member with us. Again, we're your hosts. I am Onyx. He is.
I'm Chrome. And
this man is.
Ranksinator.
Ranksinator, what's up, man? How you doing?
I've been good.
How you doing?
All right. Well, thank you for joining us today. We got a really cool topic. We're going to be talking about piracy in gaming and anime. But since it's your first time on here, let me ask you a question. Do you remember what your first anime and first video game you've ever played/watched?
First video game, if I recall, Super Mario Bros. World. Super Mario World, I believe.
Oh, okay. For the Game Boy?
No, the Super NES.
Oh, yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were.
Anime. It might have been Dragon Ball Z. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It's like Dragon Ball Z is a big one around here.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
All right. So, Chrome, what is your experience, or what have you seen in terms of piracy in gaming?
Piracy in gaming. On my part, let's see here. I've actually tried pirating games. Usually visual novels, really into animated stuff, and I rip them off the web. But it's actually kind of tough because I actually have to download each file individually, and there's like 300 files I have to download. And there's a cooldown between each file, like 90 seconds, sometimes 180 seconds, and I'm like, this is gonna take forever. And it actually, I counted it, and it took me like 6 hours to download one game off the web.
Wow, only
and
6?
It was...
Wait till my anime story.
Yeah. That's but I don't do it anymore. I've only probably downloaded like maybe 3 off the web, and I buy it legitly because I don't want to wait for the cooldown for each file. It's awful. Really awful, especially when you have 10-20 megabyte internet speed. That's not gonna help.
Oh boy.
Yeah. What is your experience, Onyx, in terms of pirating games and stuff like that?
So I guess I pirated games without actually knowing it was pirated. I think my first hand experience was emulators. And emulators are kind of sketchy, or they're kind of iffy, because there's a legal way about it and there's an illegal way about it. So how emulators work is that technically it's legal to own it, to use emulators if you own an original copy or console. For example, if I wanted to play Pokemon Leaf Green, if I wanted to play it on my computer, I would have to own the game, or if at one point in time I owned the console, because the whole thing is speculation about the emulator thing is that people would use it if they don't have a console anymore, they used to have it, or they own a copy, it just doesn't work anymore, so that's what kind of makes it a little bit weird, you know what I mean? But I had a friend who kind of introduced me to that. He and I he was like, yeah. I was like, oh yeah, I could get it for you on computer. I was like, oh, for real? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, all right, cool. I'll buy you lunch for the next week. So
Nice.
he would hook me up. And then he was like, oh, how do you do it? And he was like, I don't want to teach you. I think he just wants me to buy him lunch.
Was that friend Ranks Eater?
No. But it was a mutual friend.
I see.
Leonhardt.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That's his alias. And well, I later on when I was kind of in my rut of gaming, where I really would only play the same 3 games on my Game Boy because we couldn't afford anything. We couldn't afford any consoles. We couldn't afford any like AAA games or anything like that. I just kind of like would dive into more emulators and stuff like that, you know, because I was just a kid. You know, I didn't have any money, and the emulators worked pretty good. Just emulators was like a newer thing, so emulators for like high-end consoles like the Wii, or at the time, were like really new and very, very raw. So people couldn't really get them to work very well. And plus, like, we're starting to kind of getting introduced to the HD era. Yeah. So the PSP kind of filled that void for a little while. How about you, Ranksinator? What was your experience in piracy like?
It was similar to your stories. I kind of used emulators in the past as well. Not a variety. I just fiddled around with a few. Mostly PlayStation 1. For the same reasons. I didn't have a PlayStation 1 at the time and wanted to play some games that I used to play back in then. And yeah, it worked pretty well. There's just a few fixes here and there. I guess because console, everything's already set up for you, while emulators, you kind of have to set up everything.
Yeah. And you know, I'm all about supporting developers and, you know, publishers, like when it comes to these things. You know, and at the time it was so new that there was really no like instance of, oh, is this illegal? Like I didn't know. I don't think really anybody knew. You know, until later on. You know, I still support the official release in games. You know, if I do emulate games, it's usually a game that I own already, or if it's a ROM hack or a modded game. You know, and those are still technically, I guess, piracy in a sense, because it has to be based off an original content, but at the same time I own it, so it should be okay, right? Wouldn't it be, isn't that how it works?
I believe so.
Yeah.
What do you think, Ransom?
Yeah. As long as you own your own copy, I think it's fine.
Yeah, as long as you don't distribute it and, you know, charging people. No, that's illegal.
Definitely. I think that's where
definitely illegal.
It could probably be a bigger problem, but
you know, now that you brought that up, I do remember like flea markets. Like you might have like a dude who would like try to sell off a game that has like let me tell you a story. So I went to like this game store. It wasn't GameStop. It wasn't like a mom and pop shop, but it was like a warehouse, and it had games from like every game on there. Like everything from like the Atari to like Xbox One. Like they had everything. And in the far back of it has like a free market, or a flea market. I guess it would be better to call it that, because people could come up there and you like reserve a table and you sell your games away instead of buying it from the store. And so there's this guy who had like a bunch of like Game Boy cartridges and like Nintendo 64 cartridges, and he had like some bootleg Zelda games. Like, let me tell you how bootleg it is. So there's this one, I guess might have been a Game Boy Color cartridge. It had the Link from the Wii U presentation that it was, I think it was before it was called the Wii U. You know, when they were doing the whole HD demo thing with Link and fighting Goma.
Oh, okay.
And it was like his clothes were colored blue, and it said The Legend of Zelda, like the goddess of courage or whatever, something like that. You know, and I was like, what is this crap? Who does this guy think he's doing? Like, he's trying to sell a game that's not even real. Like, and I'm thinking to myself now that he might have just like gotten a ROM hack of something and like try to resell it, you know, and that's highly illegal. Yeah. I should have called him out on it. So that's my experience in piracy and gaming. Like I said, don't condone it. You know, always support the official release, and you know, and honestly, things just run better if you do it the right way. You know, less glitches, and you know, it's funny. Developers have a history of getting people back for pirating their games. Do you have so there was this one time I was watching a YouTube channel. I think it's called Did You Know Gaming, and they did a whole segment on it. And the one I remember the most was when Fire Red and Leaf Green first came out, and you get up to a certain point of the game, they stop you and it's like, hey, if you enjoy the game, buy it.
I see. That's smart.
Yeah, so they had their own like version of the ISO, and like if people try to pirate it, it was like a bricked copy of it. You know, you could only get to a certain point. So basically, they released a demo.
Pretty much.
Yeah, but I think, and that's not really. I'm sure it's out there still, but you can still get like a full game on it. Yeah. So, what do you say we kick this off to anime then?
Yes. Let's kick this off to anime.
All right, Mr. Not a Weeb. What's your experience?
Yes, Mr. Onyx.
Anime connoisseur.
Okay,
What's up with you and anime piracy?
Anime piracy. I've actually been pirating anime. Well, watching it on streaming sites for quite a while. Yes. But remember how I told you like how I got back into anime? It wasn't a piracy website that got me back into anime. It was actually a free anime that I could watch on Xbox 360 and Xbox Live, and that's how I got back into it. But I wanted more, and I looked at like Microsoft stores, like, you know, anime, and I have to pay for them. I have to pay for the whole season or each episode, which was like $15 an episode. No, not an episode, but a season. And I'm like, I don't have the money. I'm broke. I'm in that rough situation. So I'm like, you know what? We're at that age where there's a lot of things that we can access through the internet. And I just Googled streaming anime, you know, free streaming anime and stuff like that. And then a bunch of websites. Like I got like probably, I don't know, 5 million results within. And that's where my adventure began. Again. And yeah, but I've actually right now I've actually owned subscription, like where I can watch my anime legally. You know, there's Netflix and I have Amazon, not Crunchyroll. But I still favor piracy sites because of its access. You know, all of the anime that Japan releases is there for you to watch. I mean, Crunchyroll has like the licensing for like Western like anime releases, but they still don't have all the anime. You know, there's like they have like sure like Amazon has like exclusives licensing. For example, on fall 2017, they released Inuyashiki, which like I'm stoked about because my favorite band is playing the opening song, Man with a Mission. But it's not on Crunchyroll. It's on Anime Strike on Amazon, and at that time I didn't have like an Amazon membership, and that was actually a separate subscription itself. And I'm like, yeah, yes, it is. Like, why? Like, I don't want to pay for that. I don't have the money. So I'm like, all right, I gotta go through my like websites that I watch in, and it was there, and it aired weekly, and I get to watch the whole season for free. I mean, sure, I have to like, you know, get bothered by ads and stuff like that my ad block doesn't like block, but hey, it was still worth it. I get to watch it on 720p, sometimes 1080p, and yeah, that's my experience. And I would still support like piracy, but I still do support the anime industry legitly by buying their merchandise. Like, I do like at least once a month, like check out like stores like Tokyo Otaku Mode or like online or Amazon, and just like buy some like merchandise to support. If I like the anime, that is, you know, I'll still support it. But for watching anime, I'm gonna have to go with like piracy websites on that one. What do you think about Onyx regarding piracy and anime?
Well, a lot of the time when I used to pirate anime is when it was very inaccessible, you know, because anime wasn't really something that's been put on TV a lot. You know, at certain points, you know, on TV, if you were to watch a show, they stop airing certain episodes. They stop airing the show in general. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So in that sense, let's say I wanted to watch like Dragon Ball, like later on, I'm like in high school. They don't show that anymore on TV. So I got a torrent thing and torrented like the entire series of Dragon Ball, like not just Z, it's like Dragon Ball, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball GT, all of the movies and specials. That download took half a week.
Really?
Half a week, and it was like hundreds of gigs, it feels like. But I think it might have been like 150 gigs.
I see.
Like, I mean, I could be like inflating it, but that's one example. And then you know, like you said, like you said earlier, a lot of it is a licensing thing, where
exclusives.
People have to, you know, companies have to buy a license in order to show their stuff, which, you know, that works here too. Like Netflix is a big example. Like, shows will get off of Netflix because their license runs out, and you know, a lot the company that the license belongs to, they might charge more for it, or they might like don't want to like provide that to that service anymore. You know, so that's why Netflix is starting to pump out a lot more Netflix originals, so they don't have to worry about those licenses. But it would be nice if they still kept it, because like I love Scrubs. I want to keep watching Scrubs, and now Scrubs is not on Netflix anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so I think the last thing I watched, quote unquote, illegally was Sword Art Online Season 2 in English, because I think it took about over a year for Netflix to get the English dub of it, even though they had the show on there already. So, like, I don't know. And I understand people have like an annoyance when it comes to ads, and I've talked to a couple of people about, like, you know, watching their anime and stuff like that, and a lot of them suggest certain sites, and I'm like, well, why don't you just watch it on an official release? Like, watch it on Crunchyroll or something. He's like, I don't want to deal with the ads. I'm like, it would be the same as if you go to Japan and you watch it like live on television, because they have commercials. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if it's that much of an issue, get ad block. You know? But I think Crunchyroll, I think a lot of sites now have like ad block detector.
Yeah.
So when they do happen to you do happen to have like ad block, it's like, hey, you want to watch this? Gotta take that off.
Yeah.
So I think Crunchyroll does have that. But I don't know if you guys heard of it, but there's a service called Verve. They're partnered with the Crunchyroll, and they offer like huge like stream services, and it's not just, you know, Crunchyroll. It's got Rooster Teeth. It's got a bunch of other things. It's basically like a super Netflix, because it's all of the a bunch of different service providers under Verve, and with Verve you can just like get in a subscription for that, and it goes out to all of the other ones. So if you like Crunchyroll and you like 3 other like streaming services, you know, and they all are under Verve, instead of getting 4 separate subscriptions, you just get a subscription from Verve, and they provide you all those like streaming services. So I don't know if you've heard of that.
No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, well, hopefully they sponsor us for putting them out there like that.
All right. So yeah, Ranksinator. What do you think about like piracy in anime? Like, what's your experiences with it?
Well, I don't think I done piracy in anime and downloading any torrents or anything, but I have gone to websites to watch
Streaming,
it.
right?
Yeah, it streams.
Yeah, same here.
Like, what would be something that you would stream? Like what show in particular that would make you want to stream that you couldn't find?
Mostly the Gundam series, because I think there was a period early 2010s where Bandai had issues with licensing. They didn't have a third party that would allow them to sell DVD or Blu-rays of previous or all the Gundam series in the States. So I usually streamed many of the episodes and series.
Oh, okay. You know, I Gundam is like, I feel like it's popular over here in the West.
It's it got a big following during the G Gundam, well, pretty much the Toonami airings, G Gundam and Gundam Wing in particular, and usually the series that came after didn't have that much of a following, but it's still just as big in Japan.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, Gundam is actually something I really wanted to get into more. It's just that it's not available, like, commercially. If you wanted to watch Gundam, I guess you would have to, like, get a specific service, like Crunchyroll or something, if you wanted to watch it. You know, and, like, I know that Crunchyroll doesn't have everything. Like, I try to watch XL World, and it's not on there. And it's not on Netflix. It's not on Amazon. It's on Hulu. Of all things.
Yeah. Yeah, right? Yeah.
Well, that's another subscription, you know? And subscriptions are cheap.
Another paywall.
Exactly. Oh my gosh.
Another paywall.
Going right back to loot boxes, man.
Yes. Oh yeah, going back to the Amazon thing, you know how I talked about the show Inuyashiki. Yeah, I mean, I have to go through a paywall and another paywall just to watch Anime Strike. And good thing Anime Strike, they took that off subscription earlier this January of 2018. So yeah, you just need Prime membership to watch the anime then.
Well, that's even better, you know, because like I like that, you know, Amazon is starting to kind of like use that Prime membership for other things, like Twitch. You know, you get Twitch Prime if you're subscribed with Amazon's Amazon Prime service. And using Amazon Prime, you can, you know, subscribe to Twitch channels, which is different from following, because that Twitch person gets money out of it. But at the same time, subscribers get special perks like private chats and stuff like that with the streamer, and emoticons, you know, like special emojis. Like Maximilian dude, you know who that is, right?
I think I've seen some of his videos.
Yeah, he's a huge fighting game advocate on the internet. You know, he's big on YouTube, and he does a lot of fighting games. So he just recently hit like 500,000 subscribers, and he's doing this really cool like sweepstakes thing. So I'm trying to sub that, and hit that sub button. So I think that's pretty much covers everything, huh?
Yeah, I believe so.
relatively short podcast, but I do actually wanted to make I guess not a suggestion, but I want to ask, would anybody be interested in having us do gaming on this channel? Like, it's just something I kind of like wondered. I know you were asking about it. I would totally be down for it. It's just I just want to see if people would be interested. So if you're interested, please let us know in the comments down below.
Yeah. Definitely.
So my name is Onyx. This
And
dude
I'm
is
Chrome.
Ranksonator.
And we'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button. Help us out. See you guys.
See ya.